I really wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about today. So I came outside, I sat down in the swing and just let nature take over. I sat here in complete silence and just sat with myself. And all of a sudden, after maybe a few minutes, it organically came about. And that was being a victim to your circumstances. So that's what I want to talk about today, is being a victim to your circumstances. It's really windy out there today, but this whole notion that you have to always be a victim to what's going on in your life is not something that we should do. It's not healthy, because then you play this victim and it's almost like poor me, and you wallow in this self-pity and you want people to feel sorry for you. And in that respect, you end up not progressing, not evolving, because you constantly think like, this is my life, this is my story, there's no way out. So how do you overcome those obstacles? How do you see that you shouldn't be boxed in by this self-victimization? I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't feel sadness or grief or pain or anguish after certain things happen, because those things are going to happen, whether it's a death, a life-threatening illness, something that is just not what you want it to happen. Those things are going to occur. And like I spoke about in the previous talk, we have to accept those things, regardless if they're good or bad. But when they're bad and they cause you pain, it's how you move forward from those events and situations. It's how you progress and evolve and grow from them. Because if you stay stuck in that story, it's like you're going to be on this hamster wheel that just keeps going around and around and around. And all you're going to keep talking about is this situation or these situations that caused you pain and anguish. And after a while, this victim card doesn't really help you. It hurts you because you're not actively trying to move forward. You're not trying to accept it and move on. And to be honest, there are people out there that enjoy this area, this zone of their life. It's almost a comfort zone in a way. They like feeling this pity. They like feeling this misery. So why do some people feel the most comfortable being miserable, being sad, in this state of depression almost? And I'm not trying to say it's so easy to get out of this depression, because depression is serious. It's a real mental disorder that affects so many people in this world. But what I'm saying is, why do people get comfortable in certain situations that cause them pain or cause them misery? In my opinion, these people don't feel like they deserve to be happy. You know, they feel like this is their life, this is their story, and this is how it's going to play out. What they don't understand is that they deserve better. They were put here for better. But it's up to them to truly understand that life shouldn't be about misery and sadness and pain. It should be filled with happiness, joy, and inner peace. Those two are big, big, big opposite sides of the spectrum. You know, that's from one end of the extreme to the other. And it's hard to get from the sadness, pain side all the way over to the happiest, joyous type of life that you want to live. It's not easy. That's a huge gap, you know? It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a person that's willing to put in the work and recognize that playing the victim or constantly having this victimization mentality doesn't really serve them good at all. It just creates more sadness and more disorder in their life. And it blocks them, stops them from seeing the light, happiness, and being able to enjoy life as it should be. I played that victim card a lot during my active addiction. I always would replay this story, the tape in my head about, poor me. I need to do this because my life sucks and it's not going to get any better, so why even try? And it can really put you in this place of surrendering. You almost surrender to the fact that you can't do anything about it, so why even try? And it's almost giving up on yourself. It pretty much is. You're giving up on yourself being able to be somebody, be productive, contribute to the world, whether it's on a small or grand scale. You're giving up. You're calling out before the race even starts. You're waving the white flag and saying, I can't do it. And I did that plenty of times, and that kept me stuck. That kept me stuck in active addiction because I felt like I didn't deserve a better life. So why even try? Thankful to my higher power, and also me actually listening to my higher power, which is really just inside of me, and really listening and understanding that I needed to stop. I surrendered, but it's a different type of surrender. You can surrender to the fact that you don't think you deserve better, but in this case, I surrendered and said I needed to get help because I stopped wanting to live a life full of pain and suffering and desperation. And I wanted a new way of life. I wanted to move from that depressive state where I thought nothing can get any better to a place where I was happy, joyous, and free. So I surrendered. I actually took control of my life in that scenario and said, I can't do this anymore. But that's the thing. It takes you as a person to be motivated, to want to change, to look inside, do some reflecting, and understand that this type of life, this type of self-victimization and playing the victim card does not serve you at all. It might feel good sometimes to sit in that misery, but it doesn't really help you evolve and grow. It just keeps you locked in this small box, not being able to see and feel the freedom of being happy and experiencing life. So I surrendered. And like I said before, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of work and a lot of effort to go from the one state of being sad and in pain to being happy. And I go back and forth sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but I never get so low that I can't bounce back. There's a balance. And I'm aware when I am going in that direction, I'm playing a victim, I'm playing this story and telling you this is why things are the way they are. And I go there sometimes, but I catch myself and I understand that that's not going to get me anywhere. And I need to realize that instead of playing this victim card, I need to be an active participant in my own life. I need to put in the work, because only when you put in the work is when you'll reap the benefits. This by no means is an easy task. Just like so many of the other things I spoke about, it takes work, it takes effort, and it takes time. The first step, yes, is becoming aware and understanding that you need to change. But a much more important and harder part of it is actually putting in that work, actually seeing where changes need to be made. Self-reflection is not an easy thing. Evolving and growing is not an easy thing. It can be painful at times. But the rewards are on the other side when you actually break through. And this all comes back to what I spoke about before in a lot of my talks. And that's being mindful about what you say and what you do. So when these situations arise and they cause you pain or they cause you anger and grief, you have to accept it, accept life on life terms. But after it happens, you can't keep repeating the story and playing this victim. If you see this happening, you need to nip it in the bud. You need to change how you think about it and also how you speak about it. Because yes, your thoughts have power, but also when you speak it, your words have power. Especially when you hear the words that you speak, it can make you think that you're still a victim. So when you speak positively and you speak in a way that promotes growth and evolution, you can move forward. All I can truly do is make suggestions. It's up to you to do the work. It's up to you to want to change. So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit back and just let life happen and sit in these stories and these situations that caused you pain and anger and frustration and sadness and just give up and say, this is my life? Or are you gonna do something about it? Are you gonna take the time, put in the effort to really, really make a change? Please, give it a shot. You owe it to yourself. Don't sit in sadness. Don't have a pity party. It's not worth it. It doesn't serve you, and it will rob you of your time on this earth. And we're put here to experience life and be happy and enjoy it. I'm never gonna stop saying this, guys, ever. I want you to be mindful. Always be mindful in your actions, your thoughts, and how you speak. It's so important. I also want you to be grateful. Be grateful for today. Be grateful for the moment. Be grateful that you're alive. And one more thing. If you've seen a few of my videos, you know what I'm gonna say next. Smile. Have an amazing and a blessed day. I'll talk to you later, and I'll definitely see you soon. I'm gonna go back to reading this book now.